It's Nick Shell, the internet receding hairline guy. Let's mix things up. Let's go into the tunnel. Now, I know we've never done this before. Well, I have. If you go in some of my other videos way back, because I have that special that I do called Uncle Nick's Enchanted Forest, there's one that where it talks about, I'm trying to think of what animal it is, but there's some, it's a possum. And I actually go all the way in here and do a whole fictional character on this. So, you know what? That's just too creepy. I can't do it. I can, I'm just choosing not to. It's just too creepy to go in there by yourself, because when I did it on the series about the Petey the Possum, that's what it is. If you type in on my YouTube channel, Petey the Possum, you'll see I do a whole episode as my fictional character, Uncle Nick, in there. But again, I have my cameraman with me. Going in there by yourself is just so creepy, because a few days ago, there were like bats in there. I mentioned in one of the videos that there was bats. Anyway, I've done it before. I've just never gone in there by myself, but you can like climb this ladder and go up to kind of the top of the road. Anyway, if you look up Petey the Possum, you'll see what I'm talking about. I actually am going to talk about hair today, despite all that, despite that weird intro. What I want to talk about today is the concept of not caring what people think. Now, it's easy and even cliche to say, well, I don't care what people think about me. And I get that. It's important not to put your trust and worth in what other people's opinions are. I am obviously a firm believer in that. No doubt about it. But obviously, if you lived your life completely that way, especially when it comes to your hair, because this is a hair video. I don't want you to think this is some kind of after school special. This is about hair. I want you to know that. But when it comes to the concept, well, I don't care what people think about me. Yeah, well, you should. To some degree, you have to care what people think about you. And when it comes to your appearance, you should care what people think about you to a certain degree. Now, it's not about looking like movie stars. And I know someone commented recently, and I appreciated that comment, because yes, does Hollywood have some kind of effect on what we're supposed to look like, even as men? Sure. I could see that. Not that we're maybe fall victim to that as females do. I think it's harder for females than it is men. But as far as me not caring what people think, it depends on what we're talking about. But when it comes to looks, yeah, I care about what people think about me to a certain degree, because I should. And it goes back to this, not back to the concept, it goes to this concept. If you go into Whole Foods or Target, people are typically dressed fairly nice there. You're not going to see slobby looking people there. You go to Walmart, you know how it is at Walmart. There's a website, peopleofwalmart.com, for this very reason. Because people openly wear pajama pants, or less, or worse, to Walmart, right? They really don't care what people think about them, especially not their appearance there. But I do care. I think it's important to present yourself in a clean, professional sort of way. And as far as trends go, obviously I don't care about, dressing in super expensive clothes or anything like that. But at the same time, it's important how you present yourself to the world. That's important. And so with all that being said, and again, this is a hair video, ultimately it goes back to even your hair as well. It's a matter of, part of my inspiration to do these videos and to help out other people is because you're in the same boat as me with the receding hairline, with the hair that's starting to thin. Again, I always endorse shaving your head if that's what you feel like doing, but you shouldn't have to feel forced to do that either. So if you don't want to do it, like I don't want to do it right now, sure, it's always a fun idea. Oh, I can just shave it off. That's always an option. I love knowing that that's always an option. However, I don't want to do it right now. And if you're like me and have the receding hairline, and you think, you know what, I just want to look as good as I can with what I've got, that's my whole concept. By the way, there's a rabbit. There's so many rabbits here in Tennessee, and they're really just not afraid. Here, I'll put the camera like this. Can you see them? Yeah, they just chill out. They're not afraid of me. I'm a vegan. Why would they be afraid of me? So, do we care about what people think? Yeah, you have to. You have to care what people think about you in order to function in society. Otherwise, you end up being a really weird person that no one wants to be around or can be around or knows what to do with. So yeah, to some degree you have to. So it's that balance, of course. It's a balance of not being obsessed with your looks or being obsessed with what people care about you and finding your worth in what they think about you. But as a way of a mirror, when you look in a mirror, you decide for yourself, how do I look to the world? But I think you have to also think, how do I look to the world aside from this mirror? What can I do to change that? So, and I think there's maybe some sort of paradox as far as society goes, that men can't openly talk about or admit that they do care about their appearance. Like that, it becomes less masculine to admit that. Now I think it's different in Italy, because I've watched some like Anthony Bourdain type things like that on Italians, and there's no shame in being in a public men's bathroom and fixing your hair and straightening yourself up. Like that's expected over there, I guess, and like in Italy. But here in America, it's looked down upon. It seems that if you try to make sure you're presented in the best light possible, it almost goes back to that thing. Well, I don't care what people think about me. Or what if you're standing in front of the mirror in a public bathroom and somebody you work with or whatever, and they say, "Oh yeah, you look fine," and they kind of mock you for doing that. And again, I'm not gonna have a comb, like combing my hair in front, but I'm just saying. Did you hear that burp? I just burped. I'm just saying there obviously is that balance, and you do have to care what people think to you to a certain degree, even and especially regarding how you present yourself. So yes, I care about what people think, about how I look, to a healthy degree. It's about the balance of that. Now, again, as I secretly presented yesterday at the end of that video, if you watch to the very end of that 10-minute video, I admitted that ultimately the whole video series that I do here, I'm a method actor. I am talking about this for you, the audience. On my own, would I spend 10 minutes a day thinking about this and talking about it? Of course not. It's not something I talk to people about in real life. I have zero conversations about this stuff in real life with people other than in this phone, right? You're the only audience that hears this. And I only write this material for the audience to help you. So it's entertainment, but it's also hopefully helping you with the psychology of it, because who else is going to help you with the psychology of it? So we need to talk about this. So that's what we learned today, that you should care what people think about you to a certain degree. You want to make yourself as presentable as possible. And my closing thought is this: if you're losing your hair and you decide you want to shave it, do it. If you're losing your hair and you decide, I don't want to shave it, don't. Just find the best way to make it look as good as possible. I'm feeling pretty good about how my hair is right now, and I don't feel like shaving it, so I'm not. I'm doing what makes me happy. And yes, I do want to be presentable. I want everyone else to agree that, yeah, this is acceptable. Because I know that if I like slicked my hair back, or if I tried to grow out what's it called, a man bun? Is that what they call it? Then society would turn on me. They'd think, Nick, what are you thinking, right? So we agree that there are certain things you shouldn't do because society will turn on you. You want them to respect you, and you don't want your appearance to become a distraction. It's a matter of, yeah, you want, one of my things is I always want to be the best dressed person in the room for a guy. That's important to me, because I think your appearance is something that's overlooked in society today, because now you can just wear jeans and a t-shirt in an office and get away with it. So if you're wearing, now granted it's casual Friday, so of course I'm wearing my goofy shirt, and but still, even then, people are complimenting me on how I'm dressed, because even though it's kind of tacky, it's still not slouchy, it's still fun. So those are our deep thoughts. I hope you enjoyed that weird twist ending with the tunnel. And remember, if you do want to see what's inside the tunnel, just go on my channel and type in Uncle Nick, Petey the Possum. As random as that sounds, in case you've never seen it, I've got a couple other video series that no one actually watches. They only really watch this one. So I accept that. But there's a whole other side of me. Remember, ultimately I'm an actor. That's what I am ultimately. I'm a method actor. In that, I'm more of just a fictional character, but you can still see me, the human being, playing that role. As you can with, I guess, any actor. Tom Cruise is still Tom Cruise in every movie he plays, but I accept that because I actually like him as an actor. This is Nick Shell, the internet receding hairline guy. Thank you for watching my video.